Tonight, 9 provinces, 2 territories, and 1 perilous prediction for a record-breaking wildfire season. The fears.
Up in flames, the whole forest. It was pretty devastating.
The exhausting race.
We are 100% of the sub-3 personnel are working right now.
And the troubling impact on air quality.
And you could see the smoke and feel it, I guess, in your lungs.
Outrage over Paul Bernardo's transfer to a lower security prison.
He's a sexual sadist psychopath.
Reviewing the decision to move one of Canada's most notorious serial killers. Plus, Apple's new vision.
It's the first Apple product you look through and not at.
The pricey goggles and the move into virtual reality.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. Unrelenting flames in Canada have already scorched an area about the size of Belgium. And tonight there are warnings at this rate, this could be the worst wildfire season here ever. There are 429 active fires burning, more than half of them out of control. Roughly 26,000 people are still under evacuation, and 1,000 firefighters from the U.S., Australia, New Zealand and South Africa are now helping with the battle. Quebec's premier is the latest looking for international supports, but he says he can't get them from neighboring provinces. They're stretched too thin. Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin starts us off.
From east to west across this region of Quebec, wildfires are raging out of control, sparked by last week's cocktail of hot temperatures and low humidity.
At the moment, we're at maximum mobilization in terms of...
We are 100% of the sub-3 personnel are working right now.
In a flash, the province's northern area became an extreme fire zone.
Fire danger became extreme, so we had quite a few human-caused fires last week. And then Thursday, a band of dry lightning came through the province, and we had over 100 new wildfire starts just in that day.
There are too few crews, too few water bombers to dispatch to all regions. Quebec's premier admitted firefighters may have to let some towns, like a hamlet called Clova, burn. But for now, it's still standing and crews still working. But most resources are being directed to areas like the Abitibi. It's now of particular concern to authorities. More than 40 fires are burning, threatening several homes.
There's no forecast of rain in Abitibi for the next 5 days. So that's what make us making sure that we focus on Abitibi right now.
Among the thousands evacuated from their homes, 900 people from the Lac-Simon area First Nations, and they found refuge in a sports center in Val-d'Or. Angela Dumont was reunited with her dog today. She fled Lac-Simon with her 4 children 3 days ago.
In my hometown, there's a lot of smoke again, and it's not safe for everyone.
Shifting winds and rain in the forecast have brought some hope to the Sept-Îles area, where 10,000 people were forced to flee over the weekend. Still, the state of emergency has been extended for a few more days.
There are still concerns about the fire's progress. Our priority is to protect our citizens. We are maintaining the evacuation.
Fires raging in other parts of the country. Well, that means Quebec has to look elsewhere for extra crews.
We're giving an express training to integrate 300 extra auxiliary firefighters into our operations by the end of the week.
Help is also on the way from France and the United States, but the province fears it will take a long time to stamp out the threat. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Centre, Quebec.
The Donny Creek fire in northeastern BC is now the 3rd largest in the province's history. 2 planned ignitions using a heli-torch last week have helped fuel the growth, but using fire to fight fire, they also created a perimeter to help contain the flames. In Nova Scotia, the rain is helping, but it comes after a lot of damage.
Our business and our house are both totally gone.
At least 2 daycares were destroyed in one area, adding more disruptions for families trying to recover. Even in some areas that aren't threatened by flames, there is now smoke leading to hazy skies and issues with air quality. Here's CTV's Kevin Gallagher with the warnings.
Dangerous wildfires like this one, about 150 kilometers west of Ottawa, have forced thousands from their homes and have Tiffany Drummond worried she may have to leave along with her horses.
Up in flames, the whole forest was filled with smoke, and it was pretty devastating.
Wildfire smoke now has millions under air quality and smog advisories, potentially hazardous for those who need to work outside.
You could see the smoke and feel it, I guess, in your lungs.
Environment Canada is warning people to limit exposure, as smoke levels can vary from hour to hour.
On my run today, I haven't noticed any impact on air quality yet, but I suppose if it burns longer, I might.
Air quality advisories are in place for parts of Nova Scotia, Quebec, Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia, and the Northwest Territories. Respirologist Dr. Sean Aaron says emergency room visits increase up to 30% when these pollution warnings are in place.
You probably should try to avoid doing any sort of heavy exertion outside today. It could potentially be dangerous, and the danger can even exist 2 or 3 days after the exposure.
The biggest concern is for those with lung or heart conditions, as inhaling the tiny particles in the smoky air increases inflammation and risk of blood clots.
These inflammatory effects can actually provoke things like heart attacks in people who are susceptible.
Doctors encourage people to stop outdoor activities if they're experiencing chest pain, coughing, wheezing, or shortness of breath. And if you need to be near smoky conditions, Omar, an N95 respirator is recommended.
Good advice. All right, Kevin, thank you. U.S. federal officials are trying to unravel the mystery behind a private jet that veered off its flight path at over sensitive airspace in Washington, D.C., prompting the launch of fighter jets that broke the sound barrier in a supersonic pursuit. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbin on the lethal crash.
It's the sound that shook the American Capitol.
We all thought it was an earthquake.
Heard in neighborhoods as far away as Virginia and Maryland.
The house rocked, the windows rattled, and it was done like that.
It was a sonic boom. 2 fighter jets breaking the sound barrier. Half a dozen scrambled by the military to intercept a small private plane that breached restricted airspace over Washington on Sunday.
It's an organized, operational way of policing airspace, particularly sensitive airspace over the United States in the wake of 9/11.
NORAD says the F-16s used flares, frantically tried to contact the pilot, but he was unresponsive.
Just prior to the incident, the pilot was slumped over.
Some speculate it was a loss of cabin pressure.
If you're high at altitude and you lose pressurization, you'll begin to lose consciousness.
The private plane left Tennessee, headed for the Hamptons in Long Island, but made no attempt to land. Suddenly, it took a U-turn, flying hundreds of miles off course into restricted D.C. airspace before crashing in rural Virginia.
One of an aircraft that has crashed with a total of 4 passengers.
For the Rumpel family of Florida, a tragic loss. Their daughter, Adina Azarian, and granddaughter, Aria, her nanny, and the pilot all perished in the crash. All that's left is a smoldering crater difficult to get to as investigators search for clues.
The accident site will take us extensive time to get to, and the wreckage is highly fragmented.
Although the Cessna isn't required to have them, investigators are looking for the so-called black boxes, recording devices that might explain what happened. Omar?
All right, Joy, thanks. Tensions between Washington and Beijing remain high tonight after another major provocation by China's military.
It won't be long before somebody gets hurt. That's the concern with these unsafe and unprofessional intercepts.
The U.S. Navy released this footage of a Chinese warship sailing dangerously close to an American destroyer traveling with a Canadian frigate in the Taiwan Strait. It comes days after the U.S. accused China of performing an aggressive maneuver against one of its aircraft in the South China Sea. The federal government is demanding an explanation over the surprise decision to move serial killer Paul Bernardo to a medium security prison in Quebec. The controversial transfer has re-traumatized victims' families and prompted a review by Corrections Canada. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Paul Bernardo has been behind bars for more than 30 years.
But the decision to move the notorious sex killer to a medium security facility has sparked outrage across the country.
He's a sexual sadist psychopath. You know, those aren't my words. Those are the words of the experts. And to think that they can just go ahead and transfer him quietly is not acceptable.
Lawyer Tim Danson represents the families of Kristen French and Leslie Mahaffey, the two teenage girls Bernardo kidnapped, tortured, and murdered in the 1990s. He was designated a dangerous offender, currently serving an indeterminate sentence with no end date. Citing privacy concerns, the Correctional Service of Canada refuses to provide any information as to why Bernardo was transferred from the maximum security Millhaven institution in Ontario to La Macasa, a medium security prison near Mont-Tremblant, Quebec.
To talk about Paul Bernardo's privacy rights as if his privacy rights are the same as any other Canadian is rather offensive to me.
Facing growing backlash, today Corrections Canada said the decision is now being reviewed to ensure it was appropriate, evidence-based, and more importantly, adequately considered victims.
I fully and totally understand how shocked and appalled so many Canadians are.
Politicians of all stripes have weighed in on the transfer, and Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino says he's raised the issue with the Commissioner of Corrections Canada.
I told her that as a former federal prosecutor and as a Canadian, that I was profoundly concerned and again shocked by this decision.
I'm glad that the minister has expressed his own outrage, but let's see outrage with action. This decision must be rescinded.
Danson says this transfer has re-victimized the French and Mahaffey families, adding they now must travel outside the province for Bernardo's parole hearings. He's been denied twice. His next one is set for November. Omar.
All right, Heather, thank you. A high-profile mafia boss in Montreal was shot and killed in broad daylight. Francesco Del Balso was gunned down in the Montreal suburb of Dorval. So far, no arrests. The 53-year-old was a reputed underboss in the Rizzuto crime family. The Montreal mobster was arrested during a massive sweep in 2006 and eventually pleaded guilty to drug trafficking and gangsterism. There are signs Ukraine's long-awaited counteroffensive to Russia's war may have started a day after pledging silence about its strategy. Kyiv says its troops are making progress on the eastern front near Bakhmut. And today, Russia's defense ministry put out drone video that has not been independently verified, claiming it thwarted a major Ukrainian attack and killed hundreds of Kyiv's forces in the Donetsk region. A notorious spy who sold U.S. secrets to the former Soviet Union and later to Russia has been found dead in a cell at a maximum security prison in Colorado. The former FBI agent Robert Hansen used fake names to sell intelligence, earning more than $1 million in cash and diamonds. The 79-year-old pleaded guilty in 2001 to 15 counts of espionage.
It is especially difficult because the person who was investigated, arrested, and charged is one of our own.
He struck a deal to avoid the death penalty by serving a life sentence instead. Lawyers for former U.S. President Donald Trump met top Justice Department officials to avert charges in his handling of classified documents. The high-stakes meeting came on the day the field of Republican rivals in the presidential race officially widened. Here's CTV's Richard Madden.
Former VP Mike Pence is officially revving up his campaign for president after teasing his plans for months, all setting up an historic clash against his former boss, Donald Trump.
We have to resist the politics of personality and the siren song of populism unmoored to timeless conservative principles.
It's an uphill and unpredictable showdown for the once loyal vice president. Pence famously broke with Trump after refusing to overturn Joe Biden's electoral win in 2020 and condemned the violent insurrection that followed.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun!
President Trump said I had the right to overturn the election. But President Trump is wrong.
But Mike did not have the courage to act.
While Trump remains the party's clear frontrunner, the anyone but Trump field is growing more crowded. Besides Pence, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum are expected to join the race later this week.
Anger, yelling, infighting, that's not going to cut it anymore. Let's get things done.
Primary season has now kicked into high gear, with Trump's rivals sharpening their attacks.
It is time for us to leave the baggage of the past, the negativity to the past.
And we need to dispense with the culture of losing that has beset the Republican Party in recent years.
New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu has decided not to run, saying a crowded field only benefits Trump, pointing to the last primary cycle.
If we do what we did in 2016, you're going to have somebody win this nomination with 35% of the Republican support. That's not where we should be as a party.
And Pence will formally launch his campaign Wednesday in Iowa, Christie Tuesday in New Hampshire. And by the end of the week, it's expected a dozen Republicans will officially be running for the White House. Omar.
All right, Richard, thanks. Coming up, Prince Harry's legal fight.
He knows that when he's in the witness box, he will be believed.
The royal no-show in a high-profile tabloid trial. Plus, Apple amps up its bid in augmented reality. "42 people are dead after torrential rains ravaged Haiti. Many people are still unaccounted for as streets turned into swollen rivers and more than 13,000 people were forced from their flooded homes. The agriculture sector has been especially hit hard in a country that is already the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. In eastern India, some trains have started moving again at the site of the country's deadliest rail tragedy in decades. Debris is being cleared and track repairs continue after Friday's horrific triple train crash that killed more than 275 people. Families are still trying to identify bodies of their loved ones. And this under-construction suspension bridge collapsed into the Ganges in India's eastern state of Bihar. This is the second time in over a year that the structure has collapsed. A guard who was posted at the site is reported missing. A high-profile legal case in London will be followed closely around the world tomorrow, but especially inside Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry will become the first top royal to give evidence in court in more than a century when he testifies against some tabloids. As CTV's Danielle Hamamjian reports, he also stunned the judge today by not being there at all.
Day one of Prince Harry's phone hacking case and the prince himself was a no-show. A surprise to the judge, who had ordered him to be present in case opening speeches ran short. The lawyer for the Duke of Sussex said Harry flew Sunday evening from Los Angeles, having attended his daughter's birthday, that his travel and security arrangements are trickier than other witnesses. Harry is suing tabloid publisher Mirror Group Newspapers, which has admitted to unlawfully gathering information, but only once, and denies hacking his voicemail. The judge, however, will look at 33 stories, a sample of the 147 written over 15 years. His lawyers say contained information obtained illegally.
Win or lose, he wants to embarrass both the media and certain members of the royal family and the royal household through these legal actions.
Prince Harry, who's already written a tell-all book and given several interviews, will be the first senior royal in over a century to take the stand tomorrow. Being questioned by a hostile prosecutor will be seen by many as the ultimate interview.
It's hard to escape the notion that he's using the courts because he knows that when he's in the witness box, he will be believed.
The big event, of course, is tomorrow when Prince Harry testifies. He's previously said that going after the tabloids and reforming the news media has become one of his life's missions. Danielle Hamamjian, CTV News, London.
Still ahead, a little rocket science.
3, 2, 1.
Blasting off with a mini satellite made by Canadian students. A team of students from London, Ontario's Western University met a celestial challenge head-on today when a microsatellite they designed blasted off for space.
ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of CRS-28. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Inside the payload of this SpaceX rocket, the CubeSat, built by 80 students as part of a Canada-wide competition. It's on its way to the International Space Station before being jettisoned into orbit. 6 members of the team were in Florida for today's launch.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Just to see the thing that we worked on for so long and so hard to go to space, and I just still couldn't believe it that it was happening.
The university has now been awarded the chance to build a second CubeSat. And a shining star of the beloved TV series Cheers racked up quite the tab.
Afternoon, everybody.
The famous Boston bar sold for $675,000 US, more than 900,000 Canadian, at a Dallas auction. The classic show ran for 11 seasons and is considered one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, featuring the spot where everybody knows your name. After the break,
introducing Apple Vision Pro.
The next big bite Apple wants to take. The pricey product the company is calling its most ambitious. Apple is staring mixed reality right in the face, placing its users between the virtual and real world. The iPhone maker unveiled a new pricey product called the Vision Pro headset in an industry where rivals have failed to give many customers what they're looking for. Here's CTV's John Vandevelli-Rao.
At Apple's headquarters, journalists got to ogle what looks like a pair of high-tech ski goggles.
I believe that augmented reality is a profound technology.
After years of being developed in secret and unveiled by CEO Tim Cook, Apple's so-called mixed reality headset can even display an image of the user's eyes on the outside to make them seem less isolated. And once they put on the device, their apps appear like they're floating in front of them, overlaid on the real world, which you can still see.
Your surroundings become an infinite canvas.
There's the ability to be fully immersed in an experience and yet not being cut off from the world around you.
There are no controllers to hold. Instead, the user navigates using their eyes, hands, and voice. It can make it appear as though there's a giant TV screen in front of them. And Apple says it can capture 3D videos, play games. The company also sees it as a work device.
We are calling it iPhone.
Apple has, of course, had plenty of breakthroughs, from its first Mac in 1984 to the iPhone, the iPad, and the Apple Watch, devices that were often not the first of their kind, but popularized them. Though one reason some are skeptical about the goggles, its price tag, around $4,700 Canadian.
For my budget and the economy right now, that's not doable, but yikes.
Still, Apple thinks the price isn't so bad if it replaces your TV, computer, and other devices.
As time goes on, the technology is going to get better, smaller, cheaper.
A decade ago, Google unveiled its internet-connected glasses that were initially mocked and proved to be a bust. But Apple believes this is the future, and buyers will have plenty of time to save up for one because they won't go on sale until next year. John Vandevelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
And that's a snapshot of this Monday. For all of us at CTV National News, thank you for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow.
CTV National News, Canada's #1 newscast.